In this video, we are going to learn how to review the patent draft document that you received from your patent attorney or patent agent or IP firm. So, it's an exciting feeling to receive the complete patent application that is called patent draft that you need to review and validate before it is being filed at patent office. So your invention is first time in front of you in proper techno-legal language, and it might be more than 20 pages, 25 pages, or sometimes even more than 50 pages of patent draft. So it is sometimes challenging or overwhelming as well, not knowing what exactly you should look for and how to validate if this draft is doing justice to your invention. So here is a brief attempt to help you understand what are the sections of patent draft and what you should be reviewing, with what standards, or let's say what are the things you should consider before proceeding or approving the final draft version of it. So first of all, understand the structure of the patent draft. I think this is very short video to take you through entire sections of the patent and explain every part of it. So it might be a lengthy video for that, but we will directly jump ahead and start the discussion with the first point, that is the title of the invention. Now make sure the title of the invention is actually a very clear, specific, and accurately explaining the invention. There should not be any marketing terms or trademarks or generic language in the title. It has to be a technical in nature, and it should explain the invention properly. The field of invention actually decides where your patent application would be landed for the examination. So field of invention accurately define in which field it belongs to. So generally, the field of invention might be the particular invention belongs to electronics field, or it further also belongs to the digital signal processing field. So such sentences actually helps patent office define or decide to which controller, or let's say to which examiner this should be allocated, and what qualifications that examiner or the person who is reviewing that application should be having. So categorizing, maybe classifying, really depends on the field of invention. So it is important that you should also review and validate the field of invention is written properly or not. Now, background of invention is where the need of invention is established. Generally, the background can cover anything. The description of the invention should not be in the background, or we should not be speaking about our invention in the background. Whereas in the background, we are building up a story that these are the problems existed prior to our invention, our solution, and these people attempt to solve it, if at all it is written there. Otherwise, you can just be generic enough about background and mention the problem, and hence there is a need for a solution or invention like ours. And then we can proceed to the summary of invention or objects of the invention if it is part of the application. So the summary of invention should actually define why your invention is better, improved compared to other inventions. Now you can move to the detailed description of the drawing or brief description of the drawing. In fact, drawings also you need to review and carefully validate that actually depicting your invention. There are flow charts or maybe some user experience diagram, UML diagrams. You need to validate they are accurate and properly representing your invention. The description of the drawings also plays an important role. The brief description means the nomenclature, what that drawing is called, and the detailed description would cover in detail what this drawing is about. So the detailed description section is actually the main working of your invention. It defines what exactly your invention is all about, how all the elements are connected to each other, and some examples or embodiments of your invention. So embodiment means the same invention can be utilized in different industries in certain ways. So for example, if you have invention about a robotic arm which can, let's say, do a very precise surgeries in millimeter or nanometer accuracy surgeries, uh, and it can be operated remotely by, let's say, who are sitting, or doctors who are sitting in foreign countries can operate and do successful surgeries because that robotic arm is very precise. The similar robotic arm can be utilized apart from the medical field, maybe in the field of electronics, or maybe in the field of semiconductors, maybe textile industry, maybe automotive industry. So embodiments, that is the different use of similar invention or different variation of similar invention or our invention, actually, or examples, these are also called as examples if not embodiments, actually strengthen our patent application. It is better to have such embodiments as a part of our detailed description that help us broaden the scope of our invention. Now moving to the claims part. Claim is the techno legal part of the, what we can say, the document, wherein the technology is also there and legal part is also there. So the word comprising and consisting actually changes the meaning of the claim and the scope of the claim. So claims are, there are lots of rules for the claim. It's really impossible to incorporate this in a small video, but generally the broadest possible claim is the first independent claim, and the essential elements of your invention should be mentioned in the first independent claim. The claims are shaped like this, the inverted, what we can say, cone structure. The first one is always the broadest range that is covering, and then the dependent claims or the subsequent claims cover the narrower and narrower part of the invention. Narrow means we have more limitations. Let's say instead of a pen, we are writing it as, let's say, a writing device is a broader term, and a blue ink gel pen is a narrower term for it. So if you are to apply 80-20 principle while reviewing the patent application, and if you are to put the most of your attention and your review on the part which is the most crucial part, then you have to review the claims very carefully. Just start understanding what the claim is trying to communicate, what kind of protection we are getting, is it making sense. All the claims should find its support in the detailed description also. So we need to ensure whatever we are mentioning, actually we have something written for it in the detailed description of the invention. So there are lots of rules for the claims, but then even as an inventor or as applicant, you can be reviewing claims for, the terminologies of your choice. If they are not limiting, that would be allowed by, the patent attorneys. Like sometimes you need to change the word, you don't prefer writing computer, you want to write microprocessor. So generally, if it is not limiting the scope, attorneys accommodate those changes, and once you validate, the patent should be filed. We do have some sections like abstract and some other sections as that can be included in the patent. However, the long story short, if we really need to summarize this, look for the accuracy of the information and look for the completeness of the information. The patent document should be enabling. It should have the sufficiency of disclosure, wherein the patent document itself should be capable. When it is read by a person skilled in the art, he should be able to practice that invention without requiring any further details or any further research rather. So we need to ensure that all the description is well written and claims are in place and they are protecting our invention very at the broadest possible way. Now, claims is a tricky part. If you write too broad claims, then we end up, in the danger of finding good prior arts that can invalidate our patent, or let's say that can be a hurdle for us to proceed for patent grant. And if we write too narrow claims, then anybody can walk around our invention, work around our invention, and the whole purpose of getting patent might not be, suitable. So it's always a dilemma, or let's say always a thin line between not too broad and not too narrow. That's how the claim should be written, as broad as possible. That is allowed by prior arts and that is allowed by patent authorities, or let's say patent office. So I hope this video has provided you some value based on how to review the patent application that you have received. There are ways to do it very quickly. If we sit together and go through the entire document, it might take hours, line by line. But there is an easier way to do it. Something called if you go in the review tab, and maybe on a Microsoft Word or maybe on a Google Docs, the option is there, that is called track changes mode. So let's assume that you started reviewing the document and you want to change some words, you want to edit, enter, delete, or add a new line, or maybe add a paragraph altogether. So everything would be saved in that document in the track changes mode, and when you send it, the patent attorneys, or let's say the IPR team, would receive all of your changes that you made in the comment format, or highlighted and underlined and red marked, and we will either approve it, edit it, or maybe argue on it. and maybe reject it based on what is right for our invention. And then once we approve the final version of it, it can proceed for the filing stage. I hope you received some value from this video regarding how to review the patent draft or patent application before it can go for the filing at patent office. Thank you for your time. Take care.